And therefore, in today's world, where AI is not only empowering us, but it is also empowering cyber hackers, and hence the importance of AI-powered advanced executive program in cybersecurity. Over to you, Shweta.
Thank you for clearly explaining that, Professor Sridhar. It gives us great context of why these attacks are happening at such a high rate. And like you clearly said, AI is a big differentiator in today's times. So, with the number of attacks happening, the demand for cybersecurity as a profession has also increased significantly. So, what are your thoughts on that? What can one expect in the coming years if they are upskilling themselves with an AI-powered cybersecurity course?
Yeah. So, definitely cybersecurity, the workforce demand for cybersecurity has always been there for quite some time. But today, because AI augmented cybersecurity attacks are happening, we need cybersecurity professionals who are not only very good in cybersecurity tools and techniques, but also know how to embed AI into tools and techniques and then prevent such incidents from happening. Right? So therefore, it requires a combination of, to some extent, AI, Gen AI skills embedded into the cybersecurity. And therefore, we are looking at very, very specialized workforce, right, which works on this AI augmented cybersecurity. And I will just first go on top three, right, the middle box here. India is amongst the most targeted countries in cyber attacks globally. I mean, even there was an attack yesterday, and it was affecting a lot of countries, and India was also affected. And one of the reasons, as I pointed out earlier, is that we are moving towards digitization at a very high pace compared to other countries. Right? So developed countries have already reached a certain kind of maturation, but India is still growing with respect to digitization, and hence the infrastructure is not robust enough, and hence cybersecurity incidents continue to happen. Then you look at, so if the cybersecurity incidents continue to happen, it creates a demand for cybersecurity professionals. So I'll go to the left box, that is 1.5 million plus. So we require a lot of people to work on cybersecurity roles, right? Because of the demand that has been created over a period of time. And go to the last one, because it's a labor market where you have demand for cybersecurity professionals is very high because of the incidents that are taking place, and the supply of cybersecurity professionals who know AI augmented cybersecurity skills is very less. So when the demand is much, much higher than the supply, then you basically the wage increases, right, towards those professionals who are very highly skilled. And hence the large pay, for example, 20 to 30% more than what an average developer would get is the ballpark figure for cybersecurity professionals. Of course, it depends upon the kind of role that you are playing. And it is very clear that because the demand is much, much greater than supply, that these specific skilled working professionals are demanding very high wages in the job market.
Right. Thank you for saying that. That kind of helps us understand the difference between someone who knows cybersecurity and now someone who can use AI in cybersecurity. And that also brings me to another question, because we get this query a lot from people who are already in cybersecurity. Why are the traditional security skills not enough in today's times? How could AI be such a big differentiator? And is it mandatory for them to upskill at this point?
Yeah, very important question. I think I saw one of those questions in the chat box as well. Okay, so we first I will concentrate on number two here, right? Adversarial AI threats. And because of the use of AI, the hackers have become very, very skilled. I mean, in the sense that hackers are very much skilled because they are looking at vulnerabilities in the systems all the time. But augmented by AI, they are also advancing their threat vector, so attack vector, and therefore they are, pumping in threats and attacks at a very rapid pace compared to what was possible earlier. That's one. Because of the AI augmented attacks, it becomes very important for us to also evolve this threat detection using AI, because we also have to use AI in order to defend, for example, these kind of security attacks which are happening. And therefore, AI enabled threat detection evolution is happening in the marketplace. And we have a lot of tools. Most of the tools have embedded most of the tools that we use normally in cybersecurity, most of the security components that we use, for example, firewall, virus wall, and things like that have also embedded AI. And therefore, it is very, very important for all, especially the cybersecurity workforce, to understand how to embed AI into a detection mechanism. That follows two. One follows two. And then three, right? Augmented response. So once we detect, we have to make sure that we quickly respond. For example, I don't know whether you are aware of it or not. India has mandated that any cybersecurity incident which is happening has to be reported and corrected within 6 hours, right? And that's the mandate from the secure CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team India. 6 hours, you have to patch, you have to make sure that the vulnerability points are closed and that you have tested to make sure that security attacks do not happen again and report it to CERT in. So that's the rapidity with which we have to respond to security threats and attacks. And hence everything is moving at lightning speed, right? Huge number of attacks, we have to defend and we have to correct it within 6 hours, right? And that's the mandate of cybersecurity process. And hence, the traditional security skills are good, they are definitely needed, but it has to be embedded with all the AI-enabled tools so that you can respond accordingly. Shweta?
Right. That clarifies a lot, especially with the timeline in which we have to report cyber crimes. That I wasn't aware of that, and that was a great insight. I think there are a lot of discussions going about how AI would impact cybersecurity. So, could you briefly explain to us how the foundational concepts transform with AI in cybersecurity for someone who has already been in the field?
Correct. So as we mentioned before, there is the core security, right? Core cybersecurity, which includes, for example, network security, application security, all other aspects which are related to core aspects of cybersecurity. Then we have the artificial intelligence or ML foundation. Of course, see, we don't really require you to understand how, for example, large language models work, how transformers work. That all is taken care of by the core courses in AI/ML. What we want you to understand are the fundamental concepts of AI/ML, right? So that you'll be able to quickly use the tools, quickly program, do secure programming and things like that, so that you will be able to defend your organization and also yourself, right, to some extent. So this AI augmented defense is the bubble which is there at the top. And if you want to do that, we need to have core security skills and a good knowledge of AI/ML so that we will be able to embed this AI/ML into the security fundamentals. So that is how the foundational concepts are transforming. So obviously, I mean, this is not a course on AI/ML, and therefore we will not take you through, for example, the neural network, how to build neural networks, how to build transformers and things like that. But there will be enough lessons on how to embed the whole AI concept. For example, there is an attack which is coming, right? Now, we want to be able to figure out using these attack vector, what is going to happen tomorrow, what is going to happen day after tomorrow, what are the kinds of attacks that are going to happen 5 years from now, right? Predictive modeling, very important for cybersecurity professionals, right? Otherwise, we'll be just doing firefighting all the time. As and when the incident happens, we do the patch. That's not what we want to do. We want to predict using the existing information how the attacks are going to transform, what is going to be the frequency of attacks, what are going to be the vulnerability points that are going to be attacked in the future, so that using predictive modeling, we will be able to cover our base, right? So that is the whole meaning of AI-powered cybersecurity. We should be able to predict what is going to happen in the future, and we should be able to defend ourselves if these cybersecurity attacks indeed happen, right? So this whole thing is that you have the traditional layer, cybersecurity, which of course you have to be good at, because we are not looking at the general application of AI, but we want to know how to apply AI into cybersecurity components, right? So a traditional layer, and then the integration layer, and then you build all these cybersecurity tools and methods and things like that using an intelligence from AI. So that is how the whole course has been revamped, I must say, right? Because previously, I mean, when we started this course about 5 or 6 years back, Shweta, we did not have AI. I mean, it was there in the labs. It was not available for public at
Yes.
large, and it was in the labs. And therefore, we didn't worry about this. It's what it was called as Advanced Executive Program in Cybersecurity. We taught the basic traditional layers of cybersecurity. But today, I mean, the AI and ML are pervading all aspects, and therefore we have to embed this into our curriculum. And that's what we have done.
Thank you. Thank you for clearly explaining that and how foundational concepts have transformed and how actually AI got integrated as a part of this program. That also brings me to the main part of today's webinar, which was the program overview of AI-powered advanced executive program in cybersecurity. And just, I don't know if all of you know, this course has been rated India's #1 cybersecurity course by Lifemint and has been featured in multiple places, also because of the kind of curriculum, the key features that are covered as a part of this program as well. So first, I will just quickly take you through some of the key features, and I'm sure that Professor Sridhar will be able to add more to this because he is the faculty member and he has more in-depth knowledge on this. But some things that actually make this program stand out from all the other cybersecurity programs that are out there is definitely the AI integration. Like we have, there's an option to have a master cybersecurity with 30 plus hands-on AI and security tools. We will be covering that as well. Professor Sridhar will explain that in depth for all of you. And this is, you get an industry partnered curriculum as a part of the program. And we have a lot of focus on activities, case studies. Like we cover 30 plus global case studies and 100 plus guided assignments. So we make you practice what you learn, and it's not just theory, because hands-on learning is something that we clearly focus on. And we also provide AI-powered job assistance as a part of this program. So this is basically helping you update your resumes on LinkedIn, and you also have mock interviews and job opportunities that are provided from Simply Learn side as a part of this program. So these are some of the key features that you can expect from the program. I'm not going into depth here. I think I would pass this question to Professor Sridhar, and I think we can start with the curriculum, right, from the basics. So Professor Sridhar, could you please walk the audience through the curriculum and what they can expect throughout their learning journey with Simply Learn as a part of this course?
Yeah. So these are the program highlights. I'll just take, from top left, I'll go through the individual modules. First is that you have to know the operating system, because most of the vulnerability in computer systems are from the bottom up, right? So where there is your operating system, which is not patched, and there are vulnerabilities and so on. So operating systems and scripting essentials are covered. And then after that, the most important thing is network security, because almost all the systems are networked today, and hence an importance of how to prevent or how to detect and prevent network-based attacks. So that is covered in the next module. One of the things which we have included is cryptography. I mean, normally people say that cryptography is an exotic topic, and that it is known to only some people, and we don't have to really know about the cryptography if we want to be in cybersecurity professional. But this is very important because cryptography forms the basis for encryption, decryption, and so on. And therefore, we cover it in detail. In fact, Shweta, we have a faculty member who is an expert in cybersecurity. So Professor Vivek Srinivasa is the one who normally covers cryptography essentials. And this forms an integral part of the curriculum. Then we have enterprise information infrastructure security. So large enterprises. For example, most of them have their own server farms, and they have large, infrastructure, including intranets and so on. So enterprise infrastructure security is one of the most important things. In fact, one of the ex Chief Security Officer at the National Payment Corporation of India, which manages the largest enterprise infrastructure for digital payments, will take you through some of the infrastructure security related topics. Then we have applications and web application security. Applications are the ones which users normally face, and these are very vulnerable. If there is a vulnerability, then the users are tricked into doing certain things, right? As known as social engineering techniques. So it's very important to plug, for example, any holes in the applications. Then in the next layer, we cover the AI foundations. AI foundations for cybersecurity professionals with specific relevance into AI-powered tools that one can use in order to detect, do vulnerability testing, and do patching and things like that. The next one is, the blue team and red team strategies, right? So most of the organizations today are involved in ethical hacking. So they don't know whether their systems are foolproof or not. Nobody can be sure that their systems are 100% secure. So CrowdStrike, that's a very famous case of CrowdStrike, right? So you must have heard about this particular incident which happened roughly 1 year back, right? So CrowdStrike is the third-party security service provider for Microsoft Azure cloud programs. Now, it is well known, and Microsoft has CrowdStrike as the designated third-party security service provider. On one day, CrowdStrike released a patch, right, which went into the Azure cloud, and this patch was not 100% tested. Nobody can say that they can test the software 100% foolproof. Nobody can guarantee that. Right? It might happen in the future with AI, possible, but as of now, 100% secure-proof software does not exist. So CrowdStrike posted this patch, and immediately there was a vulnerability, and all the Azure systems actually came down. I don't know whether you know about it or not. People used to get this blue screen of death, right? So they used to get this blue screen of death. In the hospitals, doctors were not able to perform surgeries because they were not able to get the health records. In the airports, people could not be checked in because the passenger details were not available and things like that. It was a massive, massive cybersecurity incident, which affected across segments, industry segments, from airports to transportation to healthcare to e-commerce and so on, right? So it is very, very important for us to figure out what the security vulnerabilities are. So normally we have this blue team, red team. Red team is involved in cyber hacking, and blue team defends against it. So these kind of strategies are built into the program so that you can know how to defend when an attack happens. Then third one is ransomware and malware analysis. We don't really update. Previously we used to buy antivirus software, but today we don't, because we believe in Windows security, right? So Windows security has built-in virus, at least for virus it can detect it. But you know that ransomware and malware pass these Windows security and get embedded in the machines, and then it results in this the machine's not working, and then there is a demand for money to pay and things like that. It's not only happening with businesses, but it's happening on critical information infrastructure. In fact, about 2 or 3 years back, the whole gas pipeline in the US, which served 1/3 of the country's population, was attacked by a ransomware, and the company, Pacific Gas, which used to monitor all these, which used to supply gas, had to pay millions of dollars in order to remove that ransomware from those IT systems. So it's happening again, and then we need to analyze that. Then ethical hacking and vulnerability and penetration testing, very important. periodically, it has been mandated. I mean, one of the things which is happening, Shweta, is that apart from the technology evolution, the regulations are also keeping track of this, right? And most of the data protection regulation requires all the companies to do this periodic vulnerability assessment test and penetration test, so that you do the impact analysis, and periodically, much like financial audit, which happens every quarter, it has become mandatory for most of the businesses to do cyber impact assessment, right? And therefore, ethical hacking and VAPT have become a norm in most of the business organizations, much like financial audit. And so that covers the middle layer. And the bottommost layer is basically the red team tactics, as we discussed before: blue team to defend, red team to attack. So now AI adversarial attacks can happen. So there are tools using which it is very easy to figure out what the vulnerability is and create a attack vector. So these are covered in this particular red team tactics. Then the next one is use of LLMs for adversarial models. There is also a very important point here, risk-based defense, right? So, for example, why did the CrowdStrike incident happen? Because if you want to test the software to 100%, right, without having not even a single bug, it's going to involve so many computing time and manpower time that it is just not worth it. So the marginal cost of detecting additional, vulnerability is going to be much, much higher than the benefit that one can possibly get, and hence they give up after some time, right? So these today, I mean, we really believe that this large language models will be able to detect even that last bug in the software. So we need to equip ourselves in order to improve the testing of the software and use of AI and large language models in this particular area. And the last one is, of course, the projects. You do projects so that you get hands-on experience. I must point out one thing, Shweta, apart from all these things, right? This program will also enable you to do certification, because in cybersecurity, certification is the most important thing, right? So apart from getting the certificate, of course, the Advanced Executive Program certificate from IIIT Bangalore, it will also enable you to do Microsoft Azure security certification, Google security certification, CISSP, and so on, right? So these security credentials, certificate credentials, which definitely matter in the job market. Over to you, Shweta.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining all of this, all the core modules in so much depth and also with examples. I'm sure a lot of people understood concepts also because you shared examples. And I think that part where you emphasized on the certifications was important, because I also saw a few questions regarding, does this program help me get certifications after the course? So thank you for answering that question as well. Now, as we covered the core modules, one other important aspect for anyone in this field is the skills that are covered. So for all the newcomers or for people in this field currently also, what are some of the skills that are covered as a part of the program, and can they add these to the portfolio? Is this going to help them in their career further?
So skills, right? So we have here about 21 skills bucketed across three places. So the main skills are that you should be able to assess vulnerabilities. Vulnerability assessment is a very important thing. And once you assess the vulnerabilities, you should be able to build security at the enterprise level, application level, network level, and so on. And we also equip you to use some vulnerability and penetration testing tools, because as we discussed before, penetration testing has to be done periodically by organizations, and therefore tools for penetration testing, which we will discuss later on, are also provided so that you can get hands-on experience. Then as the red team, you will be involved in adversarial AI attack simulation, so that you will be able to create attack vectors, and then using AI and large language models, so that you will be able to prepare the organizations against such security attacks. Then, as we discussed before, cryptography, public key encryption, symmetric, asymmetric encryption, they're all fundamental building blocks for cybersecurity, which we'll cover. We also cover a lot of ethical hacking guidelines, because ethical hacking is different from black hat hacking, in the sense that you are white hat, right? You wear a white hat and do an ethical hacking, so that you will be in a position to find out vulnerabilities and problem areas in the IT systems, and then point to, for example, point to the security team, so that they'll be able to take precautions, right? So white hat hacking is different, and we will give you some examples of ethical hacking guidelines as well. Then, as we discussed before, use of more and more use of generative AI and AI-augmented tools will be taught in the course. The last one is about, you'll also learn about malware and ransomware analysis, as we discussed earlier. Incident response, forensics. Forensics is very, very important, digital forensics, right? So, for example, if an attack happens, can we find out the fingerprint of the attack, so that we'll be able to, find out the origin, find out the originator of this particular attack. Are there any patterns that we can decipher, so that the future attacks can be prevented, right? So the fingerprinting of the attacks which have happened and finding out evidence for these particular attacks is very, very important, and that's covered in our digital forensics modules. And then we will also use, for example, prompt engineering in order to create, for example, simple security attacks as well as defense techniques. Today, courses, and people say that, oh, I don't have to know programming today, right? So you have this prompt engineering based platforms which provide code in Python, C++, whatever you want, with suitable prompting. So we will discuss prompt engineering, especially in the case of preparing cybersecurity tools, attacks, vulnerability analysis, and so on. Shweta.
Yes. Thank you for explaining that, Professor Sridhar. I think I saw a question repeat a few times, so I'm just passing it on to you. So what are some of the prerequisites for joining this course? Is work experience mandatory? So could you just briefly explain that to them?
Good point. So minimum eligibility criteria is that it has to be, you have to be a working professional. You must have graduated, right? So we don't accept at this point of time students who have not yet done bachelor's degree into the program. So you should have graduated, which means that you should have some basic understanding of whatever domain you are currently in. For example, engineering, commerce, mathematics, science, whatever it is, right? And then work experience definitely helps, because then you will be able to put in context whatever you are learning in your particular domain in which you are working, for example, finance or transportation or so on. So we are a little bit relaxed, Shweta, I mean, with respect to work experience, but work experience will definitely help, right, in a particular domain in which you're working. The next thing is that you don't have to, you should have an analytical mindset. Okay. So the important thing about cybersecurity is that what is the logic behind this particular attack? What is the thought behind the attacker, right? How is it going to impact our systems, us, right? So this kind of an analytical thinking is the criteria that is very, very important from all of you, right? You should be able to analytically think, so that you will be able to join the dots and then come to some kind of a solution. So that's what we are looking at. Other than that, use of tools, use of prompt engineering for creating scripts and things like that will be taught in the course.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that. I think this was there from the beginning, and we hope you guys also got some clarity on what are the requirements to be a part of this program. So now that we covered the skills, a very general question, I think one that is in the minds of many are about the tools and case studies that are covered as a part of the program, and how can they use this going forward. And I just want to tell everyone who's a part of this call also that we are basically giving a lot of importance to case studies also, because we want you to understand the concept and be able to apply whatever you learn. So, Professor Sridhar, over to you. Could you please explain this?
Yeah. So in the top box, you see a lot of tools, right? Nessus, MedSpot, Nikto, and all those tools, right? Including some of the tools which have recently come from ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and so on. So these are the tools that you will learn. For example, some of these tools are very specific. For example, Nessus for network penetration testing, things like that, right? So we will use these tools in order to do various things that we have discussed earlier, right? Now, the context for using the tools is given through case studies, right? So, the attacks that happen in the financial sector may be different compared to, for example, an attack which happens in the automotive sector. I must point out, Shweta, in fact, IIITB faculty do some master classes, right? And these master classes cover some of these important areas which are not normally covered. For example, automotive security. I mean, as vehicles move towards more and more automation today, I mean, you see an electric vehicle from MG or Nexon or, Tata's or Mahindra. It is full of information technology, right? And therefore, this vehicle-to-vehicle communication is going to become very, very important in tomorrow's transportation sector. So the transportation sector, wherein this communication happens within the vehicle and across the vehicles, is prone to security attacks. And therefore, we have an excellent faculty from Bosch, right, who will do the master class on automotive security, which is a very, very specific niche area, which is not covered by any of the other courses, right? Then the way by which, for example, an entertainment sector such as Netflix gets security attacks is quite different from what a fintech company such as Razorpay gets, right? And therefore, these nuances are covered through case studies as well as master classes. We have, in fact, a faculty member who teaches 6G networks, security of 6G networks. So we are running 5G networks in most of the cases. Of course, whether it runs or not, it is a big question mark, because by the time you come into your house, the network doesn't work. But in general, most of the companies such as Airtel or Jio have deployed 5G networks. Now, 6G is going to be standardized, and it is coming in 2030. So people have already started working on 6G networks, and 6G network is going to be powered by AI, right? So it's going to be, AI is going to be embedded into each and every device of 6G, and that is prone to security attacks. In fact, we have done one project, and a funded project, in which we have outlined the kind of attacks which can happen on 6G. Numerous, right? So in fact, the faculty member who worked on this project will do the masterclass on network security for 6G and so on. So these masterclasses and case studies allow you to think beyond whatever is being taught in the regular course and curriculum, so that you will get some in-depth knowledge in a particular domain. Of course, using tools, using projects, you will be able to get hands-on experience as well.
Right. Thank you for that, Professor. I think one other aspect, we received this question before the webinar started. So this was related to the projects. What are the kind of projects that are covered as a part of the program? And is it mandatory to, complete all these projects? So that was a question we had.
See, there are different projects, right? Projects on digital marketplace, the securing the digital marketplace. If you're building a marketplace for yourself, such as Amazon or Flipkart, right? Today it is very easy, right? With a prompt engineering, you will be able to create a website, shopping cart, display of all the products that you have. Within one day, you will be able to create a marketplace, right? Now, how secure it is, how do you enable payment on these marketplaces is a big question mark. Digital finance, all those security related topics will be there in one of the projects. The other projects are vulnerabilities, penetration testing, as we discussed before, digital forensics, projects on digital forensics, and AI-powered security simulation, and things like that are covered in the different projects. Now, one thing I must tell you, I must tell the audience, Shweta, is that we believe in continuous evaluation process. So it's not that you go through the course and do an exam and then get the certificate from IIIT Bangalore. It's not going to be like that, right? So there are periodic assessments, case studies, exams throughout these 6 to 7 months program, so that you will be on top of it. And we see, we normally run cohort sizes of about 50 to 60, and we want the cohort to move together, which means that nobody should be left behind. And that's the reason why we do continuous evaluation process. So yes, completing the projects, doing assignments is mandatory for your graduation.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that. And on the screen, actually, you can see just 7 of our projects. There are many more. You can definitely visit the course page for more details if you're interested in the projects. And now that we have an extensive understanding of what the curriculum is and how it is even designed to help you, keeping everything that's relevant in mind, it also opens up a lot of opportunities for someone who completes this course as well. So, Professor Sridhar, what can one expect after this course? What are some of the roles that they can explore, even if they are new to this field?
Right. So there are a whole variety of options, right? So for example, if you are a programmer, right, and if you're already working in a company, you're doing software development, and you want to enhance your skills, then one of the possible thing is a security architect, right? So if you are technically very competent, then you can enhance your skills using in cybersecurity and build enterprise security architecture. Right? Security architect is one of the roles that you can possibly pursue. Now, cybersecurity spans across the organization, right? It is not that you have an IT team and cybersecurity is done by IT team. It's not going to be like that. So it pervades all aspects of the organization. And therefore, if you become for example, information security policy subject, what should the employees do? What should they not do? And how are the passwords protected? How are the identities protected? And these are all enterprise-wide problems. And therefore, if you are interested in, for example, doing a managerial role with respect to promoting cybersecurity across the organization, cybersecurity lead or manager is one of the possible roles that you can look at. Cloud. Most of the applications are cloud native today, right? Nobody runs their programs, their laptop or servers. So most of them run on cloud. And the cloud can be a public cloud, a private cloud, or a private instance in a public cloud, such as, for example, Amazon Azure, Amazon EC2, or Microsoft Azure, or Cloud, Google Cloud. So when you put your applications in the semi-public cloud, such as this, then you want to also make sure that these are run with full security. So cloud security fundamentals are very important, and cloud security specialists are often needed in organizations which are cloud native today. Then security operations center, for example, most of the organizations like network operations center, they run this whole, what we call as war room, right? In which you have all these dashboards, which basically critically look at these devices and then figure out where the incidents are coming and things like that, right? So you need some kind of intelligence, threat intelligence, dashboard management of that is very much required. So SOC manager is one possible role that they can look at. Fifth, very important, because as I discussed earlier, there are a lot of regulations which are coming up: data protection regulation, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, Digital India Act. If you are working for any company in Europe, that's called the General Data Protection Regulation Act, AI Act. So all these laws and legislations require the organizations to be compliant, security compliant, right? Whenever any incident takes place, you have to prove to the regulator that we have taken all due diligence and then have done all precautions to make sure that the data and the systems are secure and safe. How do you prove that? It is through compliance, audit, and things like that. So risk and compliance officer role is very critical for this kind of positions. And the last one is, of course, consultant, right? Most of the organizations are still short of manpower, skilled engineers, skilled cybersecurity professionals. So they depend on consultant in order to provide them some guidance. Right? So these are all the broad kinds of roles with varying capabilities that you can possibly look at after doing this course.
Right. Thank you for that. And I hope this also gives all of you clarity on what you can expect after you complete the course. There are many more fields. We do not have the time to get into depth. I'm sure as you all progress throughout your learning journey, you will also explore your interests, your strengths, and then join a career that more suits you. So we also wanted to introduce the program advisor. So we just have a brief introduction of everyone here. So I'll just quickly tell you. So Professor Chandrasekhar Ramanathan has an extensive application software development experience over spanning over 10 years in large multinational organizations, and he is also professor and dean at Triple IT Bangalore. Then we definitely have Professor V. Sridhar. He took up the webinar, so I have already introduced him, so I'm not going to introduce him. So he is definitely there as a program advisor as a part of this course. And finally, we also have Professor Srinivas Vivek, and he currently holds the Infosys Foundation Career Development Chair professorship and is also a DST Inspire faculty fellow. So his main research interest is the interplay between theory and implementation aspects of cryptographic systems, which Professor spoke about already. So these are some of the program advices. So you can definitely be confident that you are in good hands. The curriculum is great. We have like a complete structured way in which you will be completing the course. And like Professor mentioned earlier, you will be going along with the batch, completing courses, understanding every module as you go through. So this is just to give you an understanding of what your experience would be like. We also have some alumni testimonials for your reference. So us talking about the course to you is one thing, but here are some real life stories. So Sharath has actually secured a role at US Solutions as a cybersecurity engineer, and he has also got a 250% salary hike on completing this course. And Sandeep Sundrani also speaks about his learning journey with Simply Learn and how he has upskilled to become an executive director and cybersecurity consultant. So these are some of our alumni members. So they have been greatly benefited from the course, and we really hope all of you do too. And now we come to the certification. So you will be receiving two certificates after you complete the program. So one will be from Triple IT Bangalore, and Triple ITB will issue your program certificate directly within 90 days of program completion. And you will also receive a Microsoft certificate, which you can also publish in your LinkedIn page. This will definitely add to your portfolio. And like Professor Sridhar mentioned, you can go ahead and write your exams for other certifications as well. And that is what this course is going to equip you with. And finally, some of the additional benefits that we offer as a part of the program. So we have a flexi learn option. So in case you miss out on any of the classes, you will get recordings to attend the sessions. We also have expert mentors to guide you throughout your learning journey and to provide any kind of support that you may need. You will also receive a dedicated cohort manager as a part of this course and you will be added to a group where you get all of the updates, and your cohort manager will keep you informed. You can reach out anytime. And we will also, like I mentioned, I saw a few questions about how do we help you prepare for job interviews. We also have a team which provides career support. As you are completing the course, you also receive career support from Simply Learn side as well to ensure that you have a complete and good learning experience with us. So I also saw a few questions about the course fee and the program investment. So our course fee is 2,32,000. You have the option to pay this in installments, and we would like for all of you to look at it as an investment because if you are interested in cybersecurity, this program will help you gain a lot of knowledge and equip you for great roles as well. So this is something you can think about. Definitely go ahead and search about this course. You can also scan this QR and this will take you to the course page. You can look at the course credentials, what is covered, and have a much better understanding of it as well. So now I'm going to quickly launch a poll for all of you. If you are interested in this course and would like to know more, unfortunately, we will not be able to answer all of your questions during this webinar. But if you have any questions, our team will reach out to you and help you with all of your questions. So I'm going to quickly launch a poll. If you're interested to know more, you can go ahead and respond to this and say yes. So you will be receiving a call from our advisors, program advisors, and you can discuss more about this in depth. And I see a few questions about the deck. Yes, we will be sharing the deck with all of you for your reference. And in the meantime, if you have any more questions for Professor Sridhar, please share it in the Q&A box. And I will also check if there are any questions that we did not address so far, so I can pass it on to him. You guys can share your responses in the meantime. Um, there are two questions about the certificate. I will be launching a poll for the certificate after this. So in a minute or so, I will launch the next poll and you will receive your certificate of attendance on your email ID. So you just need to fill up your email ID and our team will share that with you as well. Um, if you guys have any other questions related to the course or anything about cybersecurity, please feel free to share it with us. All right. So I'm going to
Shweta,
quickly,
there are some
yeah,
questions on CompTIA security
yes,
certification and things like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, what is the percentage of success in getting the certificate really depends upon how much you learn from this course, right? So, if you have put in all your effort into this particular course, it definitely prepares you for any CISSP CompTIA certification. There's no doubt about it.
Right. Thank you for answering that question, Professor. I completely missed out on that. If you have any other questions, please ask us in the Q&A box. There is a very long question. So in the Q&A box, if you can see, Professor.
So the person who talked about analytics and so on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so this person is asking that he is actually going to take the computer security plus test. So he must have done some kind of a cybersecurity course earlier. And he's asking for all the content of the course to be shared with him. So what I suggest is that he or she can go through the curriculum, because we have given the complete curriculum in our course web pages. So you can take a walk through, and if somebody, if he thinks that 60 to 70% of the R course content has been already covered in the courses that he or she took earlier, then it is not necessary for he or she to take this particular course, because he or she seems to be well on his way towards certification. So which means that they must have done it earlier.
I think there's one more question. I think this will be the last question we'll cover.
Yeah.
Will the course help in joining the crime branch team?
See, crime branch, basically in crime branch, you're mostly looking at forensics, right? Digital forensics to find out evidence of an attack which has happened. And most of these things are closely controlled, in the sense that digital forensics, there is a digital forensics department in Koramangala, Shweta, if you know about it. So
Yeah.
that's done through recruitment for the police services, right? So but definitely there will be opportunities for you to do digital forensics in business organizations, right? So those are coming up, and those opportunities do exist in business enterprises, but not in, for example, cyber police or cyber forensics, which are basically staffed through rigorous government procedures.
Right. Thank you for answering that. And I think it's almost time for us. So I'm going to quickly end this poll here. If you guys are still interested or was not able to see the poll, you can definitely head to the course page and see more details there. I will also launch the certificate poll right now. So please fill your full name and you will receive the certificates within 48 working hours. If you still do not receive it within 48 hours, you can mail us at webinars@simplylearn.net. And for everyone joining us from YouTube and at LinkedIn, if you have attended till the end of the webinar and you would like to get a certificate, you can again mail us at webinars@simplylearn.net and our team will surely share the certificates to your email ID. So I think I would also, as you are all filling up the poll, I would also like to take this time to thank Professor Sridhar for this wonderful webinar. It's always a pleasure hosting you. I learned a lot from from the examples you shared, from your experiences. It's been great to hear from you. So Professor, before we wrap up the webinar, I think I have always asked you, but again, I would like to repeat this question. What is one piece of advice that you would like to leave with our audience, because I see a lot of people have stayed back to the end of the webinar. So,
Yes, yes. So it is a very exciting field, cybersecurity. And with AI powered cybersecurity skills, you'll be able to really stand out amongst the crowd. And that's what my last sentence is. Thank you, Shweta, for hosting it. It was a great webinar. And I once again thank all the participants for attending this.
Yes, thank you so much for that advice, Professor Sridhar. It's always wonderful, like I said, wonderful to have you. I'm gonna quickly end this poll for everyone. If you have missed out, like I said, you can always mail us at webinars@simplylearn.net. And I would also like to thank all of you for staying back till the end of the webinar. You've been very engaging. You guys have shared your responses in the chat. Thank you for introducing yourselves. And I really hope you guys come back and join us for many more webinars, and wish you all a great journey ahead if you are planning to join cybersecurity space anytime soon. So thank you everyone, and I hope all of you have